afternoon, wherever you might be in the world. So many of you have seen before. My name is Tenzin Namjong, and here we are with another group recitation, worldwide recitation of the Vajra Sutra. So we're trying to really take advantage of these days of miracles. The first 15 days of the Tibetan New Year, the Lunar New Year, is known for being these special merit multiplying days. So all of the virtue that we accumulate in these first 15 days is multiplied in its strength by 100 million times. So since merit is the since merit is the cause for all success, both in our Dharma practice, but also in our sort of worldly life. Many of us have to earn a living and, live long and healthy lives. So all these things as well, it's all coming from the previously accumulated cause of virtue. But although we're trying to collect as much virtue as we can, it's not just for our own benefit, but here at the beginning, also to remember our motivation that just like ourselves, not wanting suffering and wanting to have happiness and good things occur to us, then all the sentient beings are exactly like that. And so now that we've achieved this perfect human rebirth, we can, as the Kadampa master said, now is the time we have to distinguish and differentiate ourselves from animals. So, any sort of animal that you can see, will look after trying to get food for themselves, try to defend their territory, try to gain some happiness just in this life. And so now that we have the precious human rebirth, and especially this precious human intelligence that we have to differentiate between right and wrong, virtue and non-virtue, we have to go beyond and differentiate ourselves from animals in our conduct, which means not just thinking about some mere short-term happiness, but to think about the happiness of future lives. And then even more than that, not just merely trying to gain some happiness in the future life, but trying to gain a liberation from the whole cycle of rebirth within samsara, rebirth characterized by the under the control of karma and afflictions. And even more important than getting liberation from all the samsara is to aspire to the state of full enlightenment, the full state of enlightenment characterized by the complete eradication of all of the faults of the mind and the complete development of all good qualities. Then and only then will we have the power, the ability, the knowledge, the skills to lead all the other sentient beings who, by the way, have been our mothers, have been our dear loved ones, not just one time, but countless times since beginning with samsaric rebirth. In those rebirths have showered us with every type of kindness, took care of us, sacrificed their very lives for our happiness time and time again. And so now the only way to repay that kindness, seeing that, even if we are able to, give them all the kind of material wealth in the world, well, that only extends to this life. So the real way to repay the kindness of sentient beings is to lead them to the state of enlightenment, the state beyond all sorrow, beyond all faults of the mind. And in order to do that, we ourselves need to first achieve enlightenment. And in order to do that, we need to purify our mind of all the obscurations, even the subtlemost obscurations. And that is only done through the wisdom realizing emptiness. And so now, yes, as it says in the sutra, this, even reciting one verse, even hearing a few words of the sutra is, extremely beneficial. But even more important for us, aspiring Bodhisattva practitioners, then every time we engage in these precious teachings on the wisdom of emptiness, the Prajnaparamita teachings, then we're creating very beneficial imprints in our mind that then, someday, and hopefully soon, we'll be able to gain a real realization of emptiness. And then, we'll start to make tremendous progress along the path to enlightenment. Okay? So that's the sort of little bit elaborated motivation for why we're doing this. And then even more than that, since the recitation of the sutra is also the best for purifying obstacles, then we can also think that we're doing this, again, not just for ourselves, but for all the sentient beings, that all the obstacles for sentient beings to meet with the Dharma, for them to practice Dharma, for them to gain realization, are also immediately pacified through the recitation of our sutra here this evening or this morning, right? Today. And so also all the obstacles for our holy gurus to continue to remain in this world and show the aspect of a long and healthy life, and to continue to teach us, to continue to guide us with their presence, with their teachings, with their advice, and for all the obstacles for us to, be guided by these holy gurus, not just in this life, but for all of our succession of lifetimes until we achieve the state of enlightenment. And then we can think even in this world and other world systems of the 10 directions for all of the problems due to disease. So in the world, the coronavirus situation is getting better in many parts of the world, but by no means are we out of the woods yet, so to speak. So for these and other epidemic diseases, as well as all the diseases like, cancer, diabetes, heart disease, and so forth, for all of the natural disasters to be pacified, for all the war, for all the terrorist attacks, for all of the, problems due to climate change, for all of the problems within samsara, not only in this world, but in all the other world systems of the 10 directions, until samsara is emptied. May all of these be pacified by our recitation tonight. So again, in short, let's abbreviate. So in short, for this recitation tonight to become the cause for all the sentient beings as vast as the vastness of space, to quickly be freed from all the types of suffering that is found in samsara, and to quickly achieve enlightenment, then we're going to engage in this sutra reading. Okay, so just a little hint for you. So this type of motivation, it's very important to do. So I hope when you do the other practices that you at least, think in this way, in a brief or extensive way to the best of your ability. I think earlier in the year, I think through the center in Bangalore, Chukra Samling, we went over the transforming a suffering life into happiness, some verses of motivation that Lama Zopa Rinpoche put together. So anyway, I think this is important. So rather than just jumping into the sutra, I want to make sure that we have the proper mindset and motivation, okay? All right. So now we can open the first file, the preliminary to sutra recitation, or whatever, preliminaries to sutra reading, and then just in that go to Appendix C, which is on page 118. Yeah, you all have that? All right. Shanti, do you want to do a sharing the screen? All right. So again, remember, so visualize all the sentient beings in the space around us. Visualize our Guru in the aspect of Shakyamuni Buddha in the space in front of us. And our, we can do the simple visualization, thinking that our Guru is in the aspect of Shakyamuni Buddha in the space in front, but actually encompasses all of the entire, Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, right? So they say, then the enlightened mind of the Buddha, encapsulates the Sangha jewel. The body of the Buddha, the form body, encapsulates the Sangha, or the spiritual community. And then the speech of the Buddha encapsulates the Dharma, the Dharma teachings. So in this way, even our Guru encapsulates all the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. Okay? So now, thinking about the qualities of the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, and aspiring to develop those qualities within ourselves, within our minds, and also combining that with a mind of great compassion, wishing that all the sentient beings are free from suffering, and that being the motivation for us to develop those qualities within ourselves, and then thinking that we're leading all the sentient beings who we visualize in the space around us, we're leading them in this practice tonight, and then we're also leading them to liberation and enlightenment in the very near future, I hope. Then we do the recitation. I go for refuge until I am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By my practice of giving and the other perfections, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By my practice of giving and the other perfections, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By my practice of giving and the other perfections, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. So now the 7-limb prayer. So again, not just reciting the words, but trying to visualize and meditate on the meaning of each of the 7 limbs. So reverently, I prostrate with my body, speech, and mind. You can visualize yourself and all the sentient beings prostrating to the Buddha. I present clouds of every type of offering, actual and imagined. So visualize the entire universe filled with all the pleasing offerings. Of course, the offerings that you've laid out in your own place, and then the visualized or the imagined offerings. Everything that's beautiful, everything that's pleasing to the eye or any of the 5 senses. I declare my negative actions accumulated since beginningless time. So here, so that our recitation tonight can be a practice of purification, we have to apply the 4 opponent powers. So just thinking briefly, all of the negative actions that you've done, not just in this life, but from beginningless rebirth within samsara. Particularly all of the broken vows and pledges. Music offering. And then especially all of the negative actions we've accumulated since the beginning of this time in relation to our Guru. So seeing the drawbacks of these negative karmas, and sort of making an aspiration or a commitment that we're going to do our best not to commit such negative actions again. And then we rejoice in the merit of all holy and ordinary beings. So again, seeing how merit or virtue is the cause of all the success, all the happiness, up to and including complete enlightenment. And therefore, whether it is our own merit that we've accumulated in the past, or if we hear about or think about the merit of others, just really generating a sense of joy thinking how wonderful it is that myself, that others have accumulated, are accumulating merit. How wonderful it is that all these sentient beings will continue to accumulate merit in the future. So requesting that the Buddhas please remain until the end of cyclic existence. So you can visualize that you're offering a throne to the Guru Shakyamuni Buddha. That throne is marked with a crossed Vajra. And not just one, but many, many, many thrones you offer. And turn the wheel of Dharma for living beings. Again, imagining you're offering a golden Dharma chakra. Not just one, but many. I dedicate my own merits and those of all others to the great enlightenment. Okay, we'll do the mandala offering now, and then the special request for the three purposes. You know, some of you know this mudra, you know, but basically the mandala is a representation of the entire universe. So even if you don't put your fingers in this kind of mudra, then just think that you're offering everything pleasing in the universe. This ground anointed with perfume, strewn with flowers, adorned with Mount Meru, the four continents, the sun and the moon. I imagine this is a Buddha field and offer it. May all living beings enjoy this pure land. I prostrate and go for refuge to the Guru and the three precious gems. Please bless my mind. I'm requesting you to immediately pacify all the wrong conceptions from my correct devotion to the Guru, up to the subtle dual view of the white, red, and dark visions that exist in my mind, the minds of all mother sentient beings. I'm requesting you to immediately generate all the right realizations from Guru devotion up to enlightenment in my mind and the minds of all mother sentient beings. I'm requesting you to pacify all outer and inner obstacles to actualizing the entire graduated path to enlightenment in my mind and in the minds of all mother sentient beings. I prostrate and go for refuge to the Guru and the three precious gems. Please bless my mind. I'm requesting you to immediately pacify all the wrong conceptions from your correct devotion to the Guru up to the subtle dual view of the right, white, red, and dark visions that exist in my mind and the minds of all mother sentient beings. I'm requesting you to immediately generate all the right realizations from Guru devotion up to enlightenment in my mind and the mind of all mother sentient beings. I'm requesting you to pacify all inner and outer obstacles to actualizing the entire graduated path to enlightenment in my mind and the mind of all mother sentient beings. I prostrate and go for refuge to the Guru and three precious gems. Please bless my mind. I'm requesting you to immediately pacify all the wrong conceptions from incorrect devotion to the Guru up to the subdue view of the white, red, and dark visions that exist in my mind and the mind of all mother sentient beings. I'm requesting you to immediately generate all the right realizations from Guru devotion up to enlightenment in my mind and the mind of all mother sentient beings. I'm requesting you to pacify all outer and inner obstacles to actualizing the entire graduated path to enlightenment in my mind and in the minds of all mother sentient beings. Idam Guru Rana Mandala Kam Niratayami. So we recite this mantra to multiply the merit of reciting the sutra. Taita Om Dare Dare Bindare Soa, 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 Taita Om Dare Dare Bindare Soha. And so now this visualization as we recite. Yeah, go ahead. Next page. All right. So you can think that the Buddha is in the space in front, right? And teaching you while you read the sutra, and then you actualize the realizations in your heart, or then you can visualize you're giving the teachings to all the sentient beings as you read the sutra out loud. And as you read, you're giving teachings, and then they actualize the entire path and are liberated from their delusions, defilements, karma, and suffering. Okay? So now we can turn to the actual sutra. All right, so I got a few messages last time that, wow, I recite so fast. So yeah. I don't know what to say. Yes, I try to recite quickly, but you know, have you listened to the oral transmission of when Rinpoche gave it? Right. So that's fast. Okay. Yeah. So this is still, you know, not as fast. I mean, everything's relative, right? There's no inherently existent fast, right, or slow. It all depends on, you know, what you're comparing it to. But the point is, I'd rather spend more time, you know, meditating on bodhicitta and, you know, doing the meditation, and then, you know, just recite quickly. Anyway, see if you can keep up. I'll try to be, you know, maybe 5% slower, but yeah. The Vajrakara Sutra in the language of India. Arya, Vajra Tirthika, Nama Prajapadamita Mahayana Sutra. Okay, and your lips are moving, you're doing it, okay? In whatever language, it's okay? All right. In Tibetan, Papa Shereki Pada Vichimba, Doje Chapa, Shijaba, Taipa Champa in English. The exalted man and Sutra on the wisdom gone beyond called the Vajrakara. I appreciate all the Buddhist Bodhisattvas as they are one time the Bhagavans were lying on the Shavasi in the grove of Pincheta, in the garden of Pina Dada. Together with the great Sangha of bhikshus of 1,350 bhikshus and a great many bodhisattvas. Then in the morning, having put on the lower and upper Dharma robes and carried the begging bowl, the Bhagavan entered the great city of Javasi to request alms, and having gone to the great city of Javasi to request alms, the Bhagavan afterward enjoyed the alms food, and having performed the activity of food, since he had given up the alms of later food, put away the begging bowl and upper robe. He watched his feet sat upon the prepared cushion, and having assumed the Vajra posture, straightened the body upright and placed mindfulness in front. Then many bhikshus approached the place where the Bhagavan was, and having reached there, bowed their heads to the Bhagavan's feet, circumvented 3 times and sat to one side. Also at that time, the Venerable Subhuti joining that very assembly sat down. Then the Venerable Subhuti was on the pleasure over one shoulder, says right near and ground, bowed, joined the palm, bowed toward the Bhagavan and said this to the Bhagavan. Bhagavan, the extent to which the Tathagata perfectly completed Buddha has benefited the Bodhisattva Mahasattvas with the highest benefit. The extent to which the Tathagata has entrusted the Bodhisattva Mahasattvas with the highest entrustment. Bhagavan is astonishing. Sugata is astonishing. Bhagavan, how should one who has correctly entered the Bodhisattva's vehicle abide? How practice? How control the mind? That was said, and the Bhagavan said to the Venerable Subhuti, Subhuti, well said, well said. Subhuti, it is so, it is so. The Tathagata has benefited the Bodhisattva Mahasattvas with the highest benefit. The Tathagata has entrusted the Bodhisattva Mahasattvas with the highest entrustment. Subhuti, therefore, listen and properly retain it in my announcement to you how one who has greatly entered the Bodhisattva's vehicle should abide, how practice, how control the mind. Having replied, Bhagavan, so be it, the Venerable Subhuti listened in accordance with the Bhagavan, and the Bhagavan said this, Subhuti, here. One who has correctly entered the Bodhisattva's vehicle should generate the mind of enlightenment, thinking this. As many as including the category of sending beings, born from man, born from moon, born from meat, emotion, born miraculously with form, without form, with discrimination, without discrimination, without discrimination, but without. Not without subtle discrimination. The realms of any means as many as are designated by invitation, as any means all those I shall call to pass completely beyond sorrow into the realm of nirvana without remainder and language. Although limitless any beings have thus been called to pass completely beyond sorrow, those any being whatsoever has been called to pass completely beyond sorrow. Why is that stupidity? Because if a Bodhisattva engages in discriminating against any being, he is not to be called a Bodhisattva. Why is that stupidity? If anyone engages in discriminating against any being, or discriminating, engaging in discriminating in being, engaging in discriminating person, they are not to be called a Bodhisattva. For the stupidity, a Bodhisattva gives a gift without abiding in a thing. Gives a gift without abiding in any phenomenon. Gift should be given not abiding in the Jovan. Gift should be given not abiding in sound, smell, taste, activity, or phenomena either. Subhuti, without abiding in discriminating anything whatsoever as any sign. Thus, is a Bodhisattva giving it? Why is that Subhuti? Because the heap of merit of that Bodhisattva who gives a gift without abiding Subhuti, it is not easy to take the measure of. Subhuti, what do you think about this? Do you think it is easy to take a measure of space? And Subhuti replied, well, and also the Bhagavan said, Subhuti, similarly, do you think it is easy to take a measure of space? In the south, west, north, above, below, the intermediate directions, and the 10 directions. Subhuti replied, Bhagavan, it is not so. The Bhagavan says, Subhuti, similarly, he, the man of the Bodhisattva, of that Bodhisattva gives the gift without abiding is also not easy to take the measure of Subhuti, whatever this is one, viewed as nothing due to the perfect marks. Subhuti replied, Bhagavan, it is not so. One is not viewed as nothing due to the perfect marks. Why is that? Because the Tathagata, because that is with the Tathagata called perfect marks and not perfect marks. He replied thus, and the Bhagavan said to the Venerable Subhuti, Subhuti, to the degree there are perfect marks, to that degree there is deception. To the degree there are no perfect marks, to that degree there is no deception. Thus view the Tathagata as marks and no marks. He said that, and the Venerable Subhuti replied to the Bhagavan, and Bhikshu period at the end of the 500, when the Holy Dhamma will totally vanish with any enemy and produce correct discrimination upon the words of the sutras, such as this being explained. The Bhagavan said, Subhuti, do not say what you have said in Bhikshu period of 500, when the Holy Dhamma will totally vanish with any enemy being produced correct discrimination upon the words of sutras, such as this being explained. More of Subhuti. In a future period, at the end of the 500, when the Holy Dhamma will totally vanish, there will be Bodhisattva Mahasattvas, and Dhamma morality, and Dhamma qualities, and Dhamma wisdom, Subhuti. Those Bodhisattva Mahasattvas, moreover, will not have made homage to just a single Buddha. No, they will not have produced roots of virtue to just a single Buddha. Subhuti, there will be Bodhisattva Mahasattvas who have made homage to many hundreds of thousands of Buddhas and produced roots of virtue to many hundreds of thousands of Buddhas. Further, Subhuti, those who will acquire merely a single amount of Veda upon the words of such as this being explained, Subhuti, like I don't know, Subhuti, they're seen, but Subhuti, all those enemies will produce and perfectly collect and infallible human man, Subhuti. Why is that, Subhuti? Because those Bodhisattvas will not engage in discriminating itself and will not discriminate a listening being, will not discriminate a living being, will not discriminate and will not engage in discriminating a person. So those Bodhisattvas will not engage in discriminating phenomena, nor discriminating non-phenomena, nor will they engage in discrimination or non-discrimination. Boom, why is that, Subhuti? Because if those Bodhisattvas engage in discriminating person, that is would be then grasping self-grasping, a sinning being grasping, a living being grasping a person, because even if they engage in discriminating phenomena as non-existent, that would be if then this grasping is self and grasping is any being grasping a person one time for the Subhuti. Because a Bodhisattva should not wrongly grasp phenomena nor grasp non-phenomena. Therefore, thinking of that, like others says, if by those who know this Dhamma treatise as like a boat, even Dhamma should be given what need is there to make it on Dhamma's. The Bhagavan said to the Venerable Subhuti, Bhagavan, what do you think about this? That Dhamma is manifesting completely realized by the Tathagata. Unsurpassed, perfect, and complete enlightenment exists whatsoever. Has any Dharma been taught by the Tathagata? He said, and the Venerable Subhuti replied to the Bhagavan, Bhagavan is not the meaning of that. This meaning that was taught by the Bhagavan, that Dharma manifesting completely realized by the Tathagata. Unsurpassed, perfect, and complete enlightenment does not exist whatsoever. That Dharma that was taught by the Tathagata does not exist whatsoever. Why is that? Because any Dharma manifesting and completely realized or taught by the Tathagata is not to be grasped, not to be expressed. It is not Dhamma, nor is it not Dhamma. Why is that? Because our beings are differentiated by the incompounded. The Bhagavan said to the Venerable Subhuti, what do you think about this? If some general coming of this being full world system with the 7 types of precious things were to give gifts, do you think that Sanatana or Dharmanis would produce an immense heap of men on the basis? When you reply, Bhagavan, immense, that Sanatana or Dharmanis will produce an immense heap of men on the basis. Why is that, Bhagavan? Because that very heap of merit is not a heap. Therefore, the Tathagata says, heap of merit, even the Bhagavan said, Subhuti compared to any Sanatana or Dharmanis who completely filling this billion for was 7 types of precious things were to give gifts. If someone having taken even as one stanza 4 lines from this discourse of Dhamma, also were to explain and greatly and thoroughly teach the Dhamma basis, the human man produced would be much greater and capable and valuable. Why is that, Subhuti? Because the unsurpassed perfect enlightenment, Tathagata, perfectly Buddha was arise from it. The Buddha Bhagavan also produced from it. Why is that? Subhuti, because the Buddha Dhammas are called Buddha Dhammas. Are those Buddha Dhammas taught by the Tathagata as non-existent? Therefore, they are called Buddha Dhammas. Subhuti, what do you think about this? The stream and the thing I've attained the result of the stream and the Subhuti replied, Bhagavan is not so. Why is that, Bhagavan? Because one does not enter into anything whatsoever. Therefore, one is consummated, one has not entered into form, nor entered into sound, nor into smell, nor into taste, nor into activity, nor into phenomena. Therefore, one is called stream enterer Bhagavan. If that stream enterer were to think obtain the result of stream enterer, that itself would be grasping of that as itself, grasping as any being, grasping as any being, grasping as a person. The Bhagavan says, with the wording about this, as the one's return thing, I have attained the result of one's returner. So they reply, Bhagavan is not so, why is that? Because the phenomena of entry into the state of one's return is not exist whatsoever. Therefore, one says, one's return, Bhagavan says, with the wording about this, does a non-return thing have attained the result of non-return? Subhuti replied, Bhagavan is not so, why is that? Because of the phenomenon of entry into the state of non-returner does not exist whatsoever. Therefore, the one says non-returner. The Bhagavan says, what do you think about this? This is a hard thing. I'm saying the result of our hardship. Bhagavan is not so, why is that? Because the phenomenon called arhat does not exist whatsoever. Bhagavan is the arhat, what do you think? I've attained the result of hardship. That is would be grasping of that as itself, grasping as any being, grasping as a person. Bhagavan, I was declared by the Tathagata are perfectly completed Buddha as the foremost of those who abide without affliction. Bhagavan, I am an arhat, but Bhagavan, do not think I am an arhat. Bhagavan, if I were to think I have attained our hardship, Tathagata would not have made the prediction about me saying the son of lineage with thee is the foremost of those who abide without affliction. Since not abiding in anything whatsoever, he abides without affliction. He abides without affliction. The Bhagavan said, Subhati, what do you think about this? This is the Dharma that was received by the Tathagata from the Tathagata Arhat, perfectly completed Buddha, Dibam Kara exists whatsoever. Subhati replied, it is not so that Dharma that was received by the Tathagata from the Tathagata, perfectly completed Buddha, Dibam Kara does not exist whatsoever. The Brahma says, if some Bodhisattva were to say, I shall actualize range fields, they would speak untruly. Why is that? Subhuti, because the range fields called the range fields. Those ranges are taught by the Tathagata as non-existent, therefore they are called the range fields. Subhuti, therefore the Bodhisattva Mahasava should generate the thought of should generate the mind without abiding, should generate the mind not abiding in anything, they should generate the mind not abiding in form, should generate the mind not abiding in sound, smell, taste, tactility, or phenomena. So it is like this, say, for example, the body of a being were to become less word, to become like this big, assuming it came out, Subhuti, what do you think about this? Would that body be big? Subhuti replied, Bhagavan, that body would be big. Subhikata, that body would be big. Why is that? Because it was all about the Tathagata as not being a thing, therefore it is called a body. Since this is taught by the Tathagata as not being a thing, therefore it is called big body. The Bhagavan replied, Subhuti, what do you think about this? If there were also just as many Ganges rivers as there are grains and river Ganges, would there grains of sand be managed with the river Bhagavan as though there Ganges river many? No, there's no need to mention there grains of sand. The Bhagavan replied to Buddhi, you should appreciate, you should understand if some man or woman filling with 7 kinds of precious things that many words and the grains and Ganges words offer to offer that to the Tathagata Subhuti with that man or produce much man on that basis. Subhuti replied, Bhagavan much together much that man or produce much man on that basis. The Bhagavan said, Subhuti compared to someone who completely filling that many words systems with some types of precious words against the Tathagata Buddha. If someone having taken even as for a stanza for lunch from this discourse of Dharma, would explain it and clearly to visualize some merit itself would produce would be much greater and capable and valuable furthermore. So with the effect, whatever plays on earth, even the lines of this discourse, all Dharma, etc. taught. That place on earth is a real shrine of the world of humans and asuras. What need to mention that whoever takes up this discourse of Dharma, memorizes, reads, understands, and probably takes the mind will be most astonishing. At that place on earth where the teacher resides, other levels of gurus also abide. He said that the Venerable Subhuti replied to the Bhagavan, Bhagavan was the name of this discourse on Dharma. How should he be remembered? He said that the Bhagavan replied to the Venerable Subhuti. Subhuti, the name of this Dharma discourse is wisdom gone beyond. It should be remembered like that. Why is that Subhuti? Because of the very name. Wisdom gone beyond, that is taught by the Tathagata, is not gone beyond, therefore it's called wisdom gone beyond. Subhuti, what do you think about this? This Dharma that is taught by the Tathagata exists whatsoever. Subhuti replied, Bhagavan, the Dharma that is taught by the Tathagata does not exist whatsoever. The Bhagavan says, Subhuti, what do you think about this? Are there quantities of particles of earth that exist in a billion-fold world system? Many. Subhuti replied, Bhagavan, the particles of earth are many. Sugata, there are many. Why is that, Bhagavan? Because that which is a particle that was taught by the Sadhaka is not being a particle, therefore is called particle of earth. That which is a world system that was taught by the Sadhaka is not being a world system, therefore is called a world system. Bhagavan says, this is one to be viewed as the Tathagata art, due to those 32 marks of great being. Bhagavan is also why that Bhagavan, because those 32 marks of great being are taught by the Tathagata. On top of the Tathagata, there's no marks there, for there are 32 marks of the Tathagata. The Bhagavan said, furthermore, compare with some man or woman completely giving up bodies, number grains down against if someone taken even as a first stanza of 4 lines from this discourse of Dharma were also to teach to others, they would produce on that basis many great events incalculable, unfathomable. Therefore, the Venerable Subhuti, due to the impact of Dharma, shed tears. Having wiped away tears, he replied to the Bhagavan, this discourse on Dhamma. Thus, by the Sattagata, Bhagavan is astonishing, Sugata is astonishing, Bhagavan says, my reduction of his all the wisdom, I have never before heard this discourse on Dharma. Bhagavan, those enemies who will produce correct discrimination upon the Sutra being explained will be most astonishing. Why is that, Bhagavan? Because that which is correct discrimination is not discrimination. Therefore, correct discrimination was taught by the Tathagata, saying correct discrimination, Bhagavan. This time of discourse being explained, that I imagine and it is not something to me, Bhagavan, in the final time, in the final age. At the end of the 500, those enemies who take up this time of discourse, memorize, read, and understand will be most astonishing. Furthermore, Bhagavan, they will not engage in discriminating self, will not engage in discriminating any being, discriminated being, discriminated person. Why is that, Bhagavan? Because that is self, which is discrimination as a self, discrimination as any being, discrimination and discrimination as a person is not discrimination. Why is that? Because Buddha Bhagavans are free of all discrimination. He said, and Bhagavan replied to the Venerable. Subhuti, Sputi, it is over on the Sutra being explained, those enemies who are unafraid and terrified will not become terrified, will be most touching. Why is that, Subhuti? Because the highest wisdom gone beyond top of the Tathagata. The highest wisdom gone beyond that is taught by the Tathagata was also taught by unfathomable Buddha Bhagavans. Therefore, it is called highest wisdom gone beyond from Subhuti, that is self, which is the patience of gone beyond the Tathagata. It's not gone beyond. Why is that? Subhuti, because when the king of Kalinga cut off my limbs and appendages at that time, there did not arise in me discrimination as self-discrimination in me, discrimination in me, nor discrimination in me. There was no discrimination whatsoever, yet there was also no non-discrimination. Why is that, Subhuti? Because if at that time there was a at that time there would also have arisen discrimination of malice. If there had arisen discrimination as any being, discrimination as a person, at that time there would also have arisen discrimination of malice. Subhuti, I know the ones that in the past period, during 500 times I was the Rishi called future patience. Even then, there did not arise any discrimination of there did not arise discrimination as any being. Discrimination as living being, discrimination of the person, Subhuti, therefore the Buddha Samadha completely banning all discrimination should generate the mind for its best agreement. One should generate the mind, not abandoning form. One should generate the mind, not abandoning sound, smell. Taste, activity, or phenomena. One should generate the mind, not abandoning phenomena. Either one should generate the mind, not abiding in anything whatsoever. Why is that? Because that is that which is abiding does not abide. Therefore, the Tathagati taught the Bodhisattva should not give gifts should give gifts not abiding. For the Subhuti, the Bodhisattva should thus totally give away gift for whoever of all sinning beings. However, that is that which is discrimination, and sinning beings also non-discrimination. Those themselves who were taught by the Tathagata saying all sinning beings also do not exist. Why is that, Subhuti? Because the Tathagata teaches reality, teaches truth, teaches what is, The Tathagata teaches what is without error. For the Subhuti, the Dhamma is manifested and clearly realized or shown by the Tathagata has neither truth nor falsity. Subhuti is like this. For example, if a man with eyes has been done his he does not see anyone whatsoever, likewise one should view the Bodhisattva who totally gives up a gift by not falling into anything. Subhuti is like this. For example, upon dawn and the sun rising, a man with eyes sees various kinds of forms. Likewise, one should view the Bodhisattva who totally gives up a gift by not falling into anything. Principally, those sons of men who take up this Dhamma, discourse, memorize, read, understand it correctly, and the teachings us in detail are known by the Tathagata. They're seen by the Tathagata. All those enemies will produce in a family, even for the Subhuti command. To some man and woman at time totally giving up bodies, the grains of sand, and also totally giving up bodies. Numbering the grains of sand of the river Ganges at the time of midday and evening. In such number, totally giving up bodies for many hundreds of thousands, 10 million, 100 billion eons. If someone having heard this Dhamma discourse would not reject it, if they themselves would produce much greater man on the basis and calculate and value one, you do imagine someone who, having written it in letters, takes it up, memorizes, reads, understands that correctly, and thoroughly teaches it to others in detail. Principally, this Dhamma discourse is unimaginable and incomparable. This Dhamma discourse was taught by the Tathagata for the benefit of sentient beings who have correctly entered into the supreme vehicle. For the welfare of sentient beings who have greatly entered the best vehicle, those who take up this Dhamma discourse, memorize, read, understand it greatly, and thoroughly teaches others in detail, are known by the Tathagata. All those enemies will be endowed with the boundary of merit, be endowed with the boundary of merit. Incomparable, immeasurable, limitless, all those enemies will hold my enlightenment on the shoulder by that. Subhuti, this Dhamma discourse is unable to be heard by those who appreciate the inferior, by those viewing self, by those viewing sentient, by those viewing living being, those viewing person are able to hear, to take up, to memorize, to read, and to understand, because that cannot be. For the Subhuti, at whatever place on earth this sutra is taught, that place on earth will become worthy to be paid homage by the world with its devils, humans, and asuras. That place on earth will become worthy as an object of prostration, worthy as an object of circumambulation. That place on earth will become like a shrine. Subhuti. Whatever son of the nation dominance takes out the words of the sutra like this, memorize, reads, and understand, they will be intensely tormented. Why is that Subhuti? Because whatever non-virtuous actions or formal lives that were committed by the sentient beings that would bring rebirth in lower realms due to the torment is very life, those non-virtuous actions and formal lives will be purified, and they will also attain the enlightenment of a Buddha. Subhuti, I know the ones in the past period, in even more common scenes, much beyond, even beyond the Tathagata Divankar, there were 8,400,000 of 10 million, 100 billion Buddhas whom I pleased, and having pleased did not upset Subhuti from whatever I did. Having pleased and having not upset those Buddha Bhagavans, and in the future period at the end of the 500, someone taking up the sutra, memorized, reading, and understanding Subhuti, compared to this heap of merit, the former heap of merit, does not approach even 100th part, 1,000th part, 100,000 part does not withstand enumeration, measure, calculation, similarity, equivalence, or comparison. So, at that time, the sons of the ninja will receive a quantity of human merit that, if I were to express the human merit of those sons of the ninja, sentient beings will go mad, would be disturbed further Subhuti. This Dharma discourse, being unimaginable, is maturation, indeed should also be known as unimaginable. Then the Venerable Subhuti replied to the Bhagavan, how should one who is correctly entered the Bodhisattva's vehicle abide, how practice, how control the mind? Bhagavan said, Subhuti, here one who has correctly entered the Bodhisattva's vehicle should generate the mind. Thinking this, I shall cause all sentient beings to pass completely beyond sorrow into the realm of nirvana without remainder of the aggregates. Although sentient beings were caused to pass completely beyond sorrow like that, no sentient being whatsoever was caused to pass beyond sorrow. Why is that so, Buddhi? Because if a bodhisattva engages in discriminating sentient being, he is not to be called a bodhisattva. Also, if he engaged in discriminating person, he is not to be called a bodhisattva. Why is that, Buddhi? Because the Dharma called one who has correctly entered the bodhisattva's vehicle does not exist whatsoever. So, what do you think about this? Does that Dharma that was manifested in the realized by the Tathagata from the Tathagata Divankara past perfect being exists whatsoever? He said that Navina Subhuti replied to the Bhagavan that Dharma that was manifested in the realized by the Tathagata from the Tathagata Divankara past perfect being does not exist whatsoever. He said that the Bhagavan replied to the Venerable Subhuti is so, it is so, the Dharma that was manifested including realized by the Tathagata from the Tathagata Divankara past perfect does not exist whatsoever. Subhuti, that Dharma that was manifested realized by that Tathagata were to exist at all. The Tathagata Divankara would not have made the prediction to be same. Young Brahman in the future period, you will become the Tathagata called Shakyamuni. Subhuti, since that Dharma that was manifested completely realized by the Tathagata, unsurpassed perfect complete moment does not exist whatsoever. Therefore, the Tathagata Divankara made the prediction to me saying, young Brahmin, in a future period, you will become the Tathagata perfectly Buddha called Shakyamuni. Why is that? Because Subhuti, the Tathagata is an epithet of the suchness of reality. Subhuti. If someone were to say that Tathagata are perfectly complete, but manifesting completely realized, unsurpassed, perfect and complete enlightenment, they would speak wrongly. Why is that? Subhuti. Because the Dharma that was manifested completely realized by the Tathagata, unsurpassed, perfect and does not exist whatsoever. Subhuti. That Dharma that was manifested completely realized by the Tathagata has neither truth nor falsity. Therefore, all dharmas are Buddha dharmas, but Tathagata, Subhuti, all dharmas, all those are non-dharmas. Therefore, it is said that all dharmas are Buddha dharmas. Subhuti is said, for example, like a human endowed with a body, and that body became large. The Venerable Subhuti said, Bhagavan, that taught by the Tathagata, human endowed with a body and a large body is taught by the Tathagata as not being a body, therefore endowed with a body and a large body is said. The Bhagavan says, Subhuti is so, if some Bodhisattva were to say, I shall cause any being to pass completely beyond sorrow, he should not be caused and not be called a Bodhisattva. Why is that? Subhuti does the Dharma that is called Bodhisattva exist whatsoever? Subhuti replied, Bhagavan, it is not. The Bhagavan says, Subhuti, therefore is not by the Tathagata that all dharmas are without any being, without living being, without a person. Subhuti, some Bodhisattva would say, I shall actualize the range field. He too should be expressly wise and Subhuti, because the arranged fields called arranged fields are those are by the Tathagata is not arranged. Therefore, they are called arrangements of the or whatever Bodhisattva. Appreciate that dharmas are selfless, saying dharmas are selfless. He is expressed by the Tathagata heart, perfectly completed Buddha, as a Bodhisattva called a Bodhisattva. Subhuti, what do you think about this? Does the Tathagata possess the flesh eye? Subhuti replied, Bhagavan, it is so, the Tathagata possesses the flesh eye. The Bhagavan says, Subhuti, what do you think about this? The Tathagata possesses the divine eye. Subhuti replied, Bhagavan, it is so, the Tathagata possesses the divine eye. The Bhagavan said, Subhuti, what do you think about this? The Tathagata possesses the wisdom eye. The Subhuti replied, Bhagavan, it is so, the Tathagata possesses the wisdom eye. The Bhagavan said, Subhuti, what do you think about this? Does the Tathagata possess the Dharma eye? Subhuti replied, Bhagavan, it is so, the Tathagata possesses the Dharma eye. The Bhagavan said, Subhuti, what do you think about this? Does the Tathagata possess the Buddha eye? Subhuti replied, Bhagavan, it is so, the Tathagata possesses the Buddha eye. The Bhagavan said, Subhuti, what do you think about this? If there being also just as many Ganges River, the great sand river Ganges, and there were just as many world systems as there are grains of sand of those. Would those world systems be many? The Subhuti replied, Bhagavan, it is so, those world systems will be many. The Bhagavan said, Subhuti, as many sentient beings exist in the world, is not told me whether continuing consciousness of different thoughts, why is that Subhuti? Because the so-called continuing consciousness is that type of the Tathagata as a non-continuum, therefore it is called continuum consciousness. Why is that Subhuti? Because past consciousness exists as an observable, nor does future consciousness exist as an observable, nor does present consciousness exist as an observable. Subhuti, what do you think about this? If someone completely in the build forward system with 7 times questioning where they give it as sun or an or Do you think that settlements or downlands would produce an enormous heap of man on that basis? Subhuti replied, Bhagavan enormous, Sugata enormous. The Bhagavan said, Subhuti, so it is all that settlements or downlands would produce an enormous heap of man on that basis. Subhuti, remember. A Hebrew man of Tathagata would not have taught the Hebrew man called the Hebrew man. Subhuti, what do you think about this? Should one be viewed as the Tathagata due to the total achievement of the form body? Subhuti replied, Bhagavan is also one should not be viewed as Tathagata due to the total achievement of the form body. Why is that, Bhagavan? Because the total achievement of the form body is that taught by the Tathagata as not being a total achievement. Therefore, it is called total achievement of the form body. Bhagavan said, Subhuti, what do you think about this? Is one to be viewed as a Tathagata due to Brahma's, but Subhuti replied, Bhagavan is also one is not to be viewed as a Tathagata due to Brahma's. Why is that? Because that which was taught by the Tathagata as perfect marks was taught by the Tathagata as not being marks, therefore they are called perfect marks. The Bhagavan says, Subhuti, what do you think about this? If it is taught that the Tathagata considers the Dharma is demonstrated by me, Subhuti, do not view it like that, because the Dharma that is demonstrated by the Tathagata does not exist whatsoever. Subhuti, if someone were to say the Dharma demonstrated by the Tathagata, Subhuti, he would depreciate me, since non-existent and long as he is wise and Subhuti, because I demonstrated Dharma called demonstrated Dharma, which is virtuous, and demonstrated Dharma does not exist whatsoever. Then the Venerable Buddha said to the Bhagavan, in the future period, will there be any sentient beings who, having heard this demonstration of Dharma as this, will clearly believe that the Bhagavan says to Buddha, there are not sentient beings, nor non-sentient beings. Why is that Buddha so-called sentient beings? Because they were taught by the Tathagata as non-sentient beings, therefore are called sentient beings. Subhuti, what do you think about this? That Dharma that was manifested completely realized by the Tathagata, unsurpassed, perfect, and complete enlightenment exists whatsoever. The Venerable Subhuti replied, Bhagavan, that Dharma that was manifested and completely realized by the Tathagata, unsurpassed, perfect, and complete enlightenment does not exist whatsoever. The Bhagavan says, Subhuti, it is all for it, even the least Dharma does not exist and is not observed, therefore. It is called unsurpassed, perfect, and complete enlightenment for Subhuti, the Dharma that is equivalent, since for it in equivalence does not exist whatsoever, therefore it is called unsurpassed, perfect enlightenment. Unsurpassed, perfect, and complete enlightenment, equivalent and selfless, without sinning being, without living being, without person, is manifested and completely realized through all virtuous dharmas, Subhuti, virtuous dharmas. Called virtuous dharmas, they taught by the Tathagata as just non-dharmas, are therefore called virtuous dharmas for the Subhuti. Compared to any substance or dharma, collecting a heap of 7 types of precious things equaling whatever similar king amount exists in a billion ones and giving gifts. If someone having taken up even as little as stanza of 4 lines from the wisdom of beyond which teaches others Subhuti, compared to this heap of merit, the former heap of merit, having not approached even 100th part, does not withstand comparison. Subhuti, what do you think of this? If it is thought that the Tathagata considers sentient beings are liberated by me, Subhuti do not view it like that. Why is that, Subhuti? Because those sentient beings who are liberated by the Tathagata do not exist whatsoever. Subhuti, if some sentient being were taught were to be liberated by the Tathagata, that itself would be all the Tathagata grasping a self, grasping a sentient being, grasping a living being, grasping a person's Subhuti, so-called grasping a self that is taught by the Tathagata is not grasping yet. It is grasped by childish ordinary beings, Subhuti, so-called childish ordinary beings. They were taught by the Tathagata as just not beings, therefore they are called childish ordinary beings. Subhuti, what do you think of this? Is one to be viewed as the Tathagata due to Brahma? Subhuti replied, by one is not so. One is not viewed as Tathagata due to Brahma. One says, Subhuti, it is so, it is so. One is not viewed as Tathagata due to perfect marks. Subhuti, if one were viewed as Tathagata due to perfect marks, even a Chakravartin king would be the Tathagata. Therefore, one is not viewed as the Tathagata due to perfect marks. Then the Venerable Subhuti said to the Bhagavan, as I understand the meaning of what the Bhagavan has said. One is not viewed as a Tathagata due to perfect marks. Then these verses were spoken by the Bhagavan at that time. Whoever sees me as form, whoever knows me as sound, has wrongly engaged by abandoning. Those beings do not see me. The Buddhas are Dharmata view, the guides of the Dharmakaya. Since Dharmata is not to be known, it is unable to be known. Subhadi, what do you think about this? If one grasps that the Tathagata Buddha is due to Brahma Subhuti, you should not view so for Subhuti. Tathagata Buddha does not manifestly and completely realize unsurpassed perfect and complete enlightenment due to Brahma Subhuti. If one grasps that some Dharma has been designated as destroyed or annihilated by those who have correctly entered the Bodhisattva's vehicle, Buddha, it should not be viewed so. Those who have correctly entered the Bodhisattva's vehicle have not designated any Dharma whatsoever as destroyed or annihilated. Further, Subhuti. Whether any son of lineage or daughter lineage who complete filling with 7 types of precious things, as many worlds as the grains of the river Ganges were to give gifts. If any Bodhisattva attain forbearance, that dharmas are selfless and unproduced. On that base, the human they themselves will produce subdue credit for the Subhuti. Human man should not be acquired by the Bodhisattva. The venerable Subhuti replied, Bhagavan, should not a heap of men be acquired by the Bodhisattva? Bhagavan said, Subhuti, acquire, not wrongly grasped, therefore it is called acquire. Further, Subhuti, if someone says the Tathagata goes or comes or sits or stands or sits or lies down, he does not understand the meaning explained by me. Why is that, Subhuti? Because the Tathagata, the one gone thus, does not go anyone or has come from anywhere. Therefore, one says that Tathagata Arhat, perfect and completed Buddha. For the Subhuti of some sun or Dharma were to enter in many atoms of earth, as exists in a beautiful world system like this, for example, into powder, like a collection of cellulose atoms. Subhuti, what do you think of this? Would that collection of cellulose atoms be many? Subhuti replied, Bhagavan, it is so. That collection of cellulose atoms would be many. Why is that, Bhagavan? Because if that were a collection, the Bhagavan would not have said collection of cellulose atoms. Why is that? Because of the collection of cellulose atoms that was taught by the Bhagavan was taught by the Tathagata as no collection. Therefore, one says collection of cells and that beautiful Buddhism was taught by the Tathagata. That was taught by the Tathagata was taught by the Tathagata as no system. Therefore, one says beautiful world system was that Bhagavan, because if there were to be a world system, that itself would be grasping of something. Then taught by the Tathagata as grasping of something was taught by the Tathagata as no grasping. Therefore, one says grasping of something. Bhagavan, the Bhagavan says, Subhuti, grasping of something is itself a convention. That Dharma does not exist as expressed, yet is grasped by ordinary just beings. Subhuti, if someone were to say viewing as self was as viewing as viewing a person was Subhuti, would that be spoken by right speech? Subhuti replied, Bhagavan, it would not. Sugata, it would not. Why is that, Bhagavan? Because that which was taught by the Tathagata as viewing itself was taught by the Tathagata as no viewing. Therefore, one says viewing itself. The Bhagavan says, Subhuti, those who have finally entered the Bodhisattva's vehicle should know, should view, should appreciate all dharmas like this. They should appreciate like this, not abiding whatsoever in any discrimination as a dharma. Why is that? Simply because discrimination as a dharma called discrimination as a dharma is taught by the Tathagata as non-discrimination. Therefore, one says discrimination as a dharma. Further, Subhuti, compared to any Bodhisattva, Mahasattva, who completely filling unfathomable, incalculable world system with the 7 kinds of precious things, were to give gifts. If any son of lineage or daughter lineage who, having taken as a stanza 4 lines from this perfection and wisdom, were to memorize or read or understand or correctly and thoroughly teaches to others in detail on that basis, that he himself would produce would be more incalculable and valuable. How should one correctly and thoroughly teach us? How one would not correctly and thoroughly teach, therefore one says correctly and thoroughly teach. As a star, a visual aberration, a lamp, an illusion, dew, a bubble, a dream, lightning, and a cloud. View all the compounded like that. That having been said by the Bhagavan, the elder, Subhuti, those bodhisattvas, the fourfold disciples, bhikshus, bhikshunis, upasakas, and upasikas, and the world is devas, humans, asuras, and gandharvas, overjoyed, highly praised that taught by the Bhagavan. The exalted Mahayana Sutra on the wisdom gone beyond, called the Vajra cutter, is concluded. Okay. So now the mantra to multiply the recitation by 100,000. Oh, yeah, let's do this. We did it different order last time. Oh, so, normally what they also do, I didn't mention last time, but we can do also. In the monastery, after we do the Sutra recitation, we recite the 100-syllable Vajrasattva mantra once. So we can also do that, okay? Om Vajrasava Samaya Manapalaya Vajrasava Tenopa Didameva Sudhakameva Subhagameva Anarantameva Samasiddhi Mepa Vajrasamakava Chichame Chitam Shiram Kuruvam Ha Ho Bhagavan Savatadagada Vajamami Muja Vajabhava Ma Samaya Sava Ahunte. And then it's also good to recite the vowels, consonants, and the dependent heart arising mantra. Shanti, do you have that? Om a a I I u I I ri ri le le e e o o ama soha. Om a a I I u ri ri li li e e o o ama soha. Om a a I I u ri ri li li e e o o ama soha. Om ka 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 nga che 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 nya ta 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 na ta 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 na pa 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 ya wa la wa sha sa ha sha sa ksha soha. Om ka 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 nga che 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 nya ta 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 na ta 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 na pa 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 ya wa la wa sha sa sa ksha soha. Om ka 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 che 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 ta 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 na ta 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 na pa 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 ya wa la wa sha sa sa ha ksha soha. Om ya dama hetu pa 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 hetun tishin tata kata yavata tishin chaya niro da evam vadima shamana eswa. Om ya dama hetu pa 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 hetun tita tishan tata kata yavata tishin chayo niro da evam vadima shamana eswa. Om ye dama hetu prabhava hetun teshan tatagata yavata teshan chayo nirada evam vadi ma shamana soha. Okay, so back to the mantra of the dedication chakra sutra. Sorry, I threw a curveball at you just to keep you on your toes. But also, so you guys know, when you do a retreat where you're trying to recite, many hundreds of thousands of mantras, then it's very good to recite those three mantras as well. That was one of the heart practices of Nagarjuna. Okay. Om Gadara Vidara Soha Ratna Shakona Tatagataya Apratihata Shasamnam Om Kaka Kahi Kahi Hun Hun Zola Zola Tikta Tita Pepe Soha. Okay, so now let's go to the Vajrakara dedication by Mipam Rinpoche. Okay. In this world with its devas, the founder, who, with the roaring sound of a snow lion, proclaimed the talk of dependently connected arising, I respectfully prostrate. The son of the king, abiding majestically in the temple in the midst of an assembly of virtue beggars and those intending virtue, handed over this dharma to the holy holder of dharma, Kungal, with great emphasis, proclaiming the definitive meaning with these defining words. Even if all the dharma is forgotten, don't forget this one. It is said that by writing or reading one word of the Prajnaparamita has greater benefit than making offerings to all the Buddhas for 1,010 million eons. Why is it like that? The only remedy, extremely powerful and directly cutting the root of all the mistakes of the world, ignorance, is this holy Dharma, the Dharma supreme of all teachings, the ultimate heart of Prajnaparamita. Having written, read, and made offerings to the supreme Dharma of all the Buddha's teachings, the heart of the Prajnaparamita, the ultimate one, the Sutra, called Diamond Cutter, may it cut the continuity of the sickness and harms of black magic, evil sea, obstacles, and so forth, and increase the life and wealth. May whatever wishes spontaneously be accomplished according to the holy Dharma. Due to the merits and imprint of having listened to the sutra and having read it at this time, in all future lives, may I and all sentient beings who have connection with me be able to hear, reflect, and meditate on this profound sutra. May I become exactly like the life stories of Sharipu and Moggallana. The minute one hears the words and meaning, be able to have the words and meaning within one's understanding and achieve the result. By the virtue of having read this profound sutra, may I directly perceive the truth and liberate all, in that second, all transmigratory beings equaling the sky from the great ocean of samsaric suffering, not grasping at just mere emptiness by seeing that the meaning of emptiness is dependent arising, while the mind is in that emptiness free from creativity, enjoy the view of emptiness only. Ascertain that the various appearances, the dual dharma, are mere appearance. May I realize emptiness, while there is appearance with the thought, even though there is appearance, it is not true. By the eminent heart wisdom, without abiding in the extremes of samsara and peace, quickly proceeding on the 5 paths, may I become the guide of all the transmigratory beings. By this particular virtue and all their virtues, may the Guru's holy lives be stable, and all the deeds and actions of the victorious ones be accomplished by myself alone. May this holy Dharma, for which the founder was Guru Shakyamuni Buddha, while training in the path, gave up the holy body and enjoyments and possessions, and accomplished the work only for sentient beings, last a long time. The victorious one gave up lying for numberless eons, even at the cost of the life, and spoke truthfully. By that blessing, may all the prayers be accomplished. And now this next mantra. Namo Bhagavati Pragya Paramitaye Om Nata Tatita Irishi Irishi Mirishi Mirishi Binayan Binayan Namo Bhagavati Pratayang Prati Iridi Iridi Miridi Miridi Shiridi Shiridi Ushri Ushri Bue Bue Soa. All right. So this was only going to go till 8 o'clock my time, and now it's 8:08. So sorry, 8 bonus minutes. So if you have to go, that is good. We did a good dedication. If you don't have to go, let's turn to the other dedication and just do the from this to seal the merits of emptiness. So Shanti, you know the other dedication booklet? And then we'll do from to seal the merits of emptiness. And then, a few extras, okay? All right. So due to all the past, present, and future merits collected by me, the numberless Buddhas and numberless sentient beings, which completely empty of existing from their own side, may I, who am completely empty of existing from my own side, achieve the state of full enlightenment, which is completely empty of existing from its own side, and lead all sentient beings who are completely empty of existing from their own side to that state, which is completely empty of existing from its own side by myself alone, who am completely empty of existing from my own side. I fully dedicate all these virtues to be able to train just like the hero Manjushri who knows reality, and just like Samadha Vajra as well. I fully dedicate all my roots of virtue with the dedication praises the best by all the gone beyond victorious ones of the 3 times in order to have good conduct. And now let's just do the prayers for the long lives of His Holiness and Lama Zopa Rinpoche. Incomparably kind and supreme Tenzin Gyatso, the wish-granting, wish-fulfilling jewel, source of every single benefit and happiness in this world. May you have a long life, and all your holy wishes be spontaneously fulfilled. You who uphold the subduer's moral way, who serve as the bountiful bearer of all, sustaining, preserving, and spreading Manjunath's victorious doctrine, who masterfully accomplished magnificent prayers honoring the three sublime ones, Savior of myself and others, your disciples, please, please live long. All right, so thank you very much. Amazing. I rejoice for all of you and myself too. So we have another recitation like this in a couple days, but I think we're doing it at some other time in the day. We're staggering the times so different people in different time zones can tune in. So as much as possible, don't just wait for these sessions. You should try to, recite every day if you can, these 15 days. Well, actually, for the rest of your life, really. Do as much as you can. I met Lama Zopa Rinpoche, and he told me that Lama Tsongkhapa, actually, he recited the Vajra Sutra and the chanting names of Manjushri on a daily basis for the rest of his life, right? So pretty good, huh? So since Rinpoche told me that, anyway, just something to rejoice about. I've been reciting the chanting names of Manjushri every day. Yeah, but not quite yet both. So anyway, we do what we can. So thank you very much. Stay well, be well, and we'll see you very soon.